designed for privacy, getting involved in open source. The goal of this workshop was to participate in an open source project. This means not only design, but also communication and collaboration. Seeking out the maintainers, diving into the project structure, and sharing the work as early as possible to receive feedback. Here is a summary of the work that we have done in our workshop.
Hello everyone, my name is Alena, and during this week I have been focusing on adding a certain feature to Nextcloud.com. This feature is called the poll feature, which is integrated in the talk chat of Nextcloud. I have specifically focused on comparing the poll feature within the other softwares or social media networks such as YouTube, Zoom, Skype, and even Discord uses a similar feature. I have analyzed the interface and how far it is adapted. And then I went on testing out what is already pre-existing and what is not on Nextcloud. The test builds allowed me to play around and even create my first mockup. I thought of implementing different kinds of polls to the chat box. Once I was satisfied with the result, I consulted this with my team on Nextcloud. And it was exciting to receive proper feedback from the development team. This allowed me to embrace working together in teams more because thanks to the feedback I immediately know what to do and where to begin.
Hi, I'm Michael and I worked on improving the design of the Nextcloud desktop app. I started off sharing a basic mockup with the maintainer team, and I immediately got a ton of feedback and suggestions. From there, it was a continuous back and forth of multiple iterations until I arrived at my final mockup that I then shared on GitHub open for further discussion and possible future integration. With what I learned from this workshop, I can imagine myself looking at contributing to more open source projects in the future.
Hey, my name is Lina. At the beginning of the workshop, Lelia and I had a task of creating a mockup. We decided to design our own profile, so we could see what is still missing in the profile and what we would change. We kept the original design and modified it in a way we wanted to look. We added our names, some icons with options, colors, the text with information about us, and some photos. We looked what other websites were designed to get an idea what would be helpful for the Nextcloud website. At the beginning we had a few problems with Penpot because we didn't know anything about it, but this has changed during the week. It was nice to get feedback from the developers and chat with them personally. The workshop gave a good insight on open source project. Now we're ready for more.
Yeah, the founder of the electronic health record, Aysel Afzal, and I talked about a way of showing different kind of charts to display and describe the user's health data. A line chart view was added and also indicators that tell you if your blood pressure is normal or elevated.
Hello, my name is Elena. In the workshop I worked on the open source project Corona Warn-App. I found there an issue and thought about how to solve it. A new function in the Corona Warn-App is the contact journal. You can click on a day and choose if you had contact with a person or were on a place. For example, you add a person, when you click on the name you have other functions. But if you want to change or delete the person, it's hard to use. I posted and described a mockup to solve the issue on GitHub. I got some comments and other ideas of different users. One member wrote, "It will forward my mockup into the internet ticket so management developers can have a look at it." It was an interesting and informative workshop. Now I am ready to work on more open source projects.
Originating in an initial analysis, I focused on the issue of color and its usage in the collectives application. In the end, I had two different topics which heavily intertwined: the issue of color coding and the addition of subpages. The solution was a monochromatic color code, which colored different collections in different hue, different color, and the pages in different saturations and values of the same color. In conclusion, I could picture myself working and further getting involved in open source. It has many different qualities, which I like to find in my work environment.
My first suggestion was the ability to see how many people are in the chat. I posted this issue on Nextcloud GitHub and got some feedback. Second suggestion was implement menu bar in chat. I made my mockup at Penpot and shared that link with developers. I communicated directly on their chat and got even live feedback. It was a very nice experience that I really could get involved in open source project. I tried 2 different ways to communicate with them and both worked well.
Hello everyone! In the workshop this week I worked on some small issues and features for Nextcloud Talk app on iOS. I discovered some issues by myself but also worked on already published ones. I liked the fact that the feedback from others came quickly and so I got to know in what direction I have to go. On the issues I created some mockups on Figma. I also created prototypes and described step by step on other issue. So I tried different designs for these issues and had a nice discussion in the chat with others. I think it's great to be able to help people in open source projects and contribute in them so that maybe your solution will be implemented in the future.
While working with the Nextcloud function polls, we were concerned with the structure of the table. The header is very confusing and we also didn't like the form of a pyramid and the choice of different font sizes. We explained this issue on GitHub. The communication with our chat partner Darkcafe was fast and easy. He asked us to explain the issue more in detail, so we started to design our new version of polls for the desktop and for the phone. We visualized mockups and uploaded them on GitHub. We also thought about a scroll function for the mobile version if you have more options to choose from. We visualized our two options also with a mockup. And by working on polls, we learned how important it is to deal with problems and how to solve them. It helps others and also yourself by further encouraging yourself.